Hello, how to fill out Form 941 for 2025 Quarter 4 Employer Quarterly Federal Employment Tax Return. We have an example here that we are going to pretty much go through step by step, but I can just give you an overview of how the lines that you should expect having data on and then we can start. So if you didn't file for Q1, Q2, Q3, then you may not have the form at your disposition. You can go to IRS website and just pull 4941, and you should be able to download the instructions and download the form and save it. So if you already filed for Q1, 2, 3, you should be able to have the form already saved, and you can just copy that to a blank. You can just make a copy of it, label it for Q4, and then complete it. So to complete the form, it's good to have your data with you as well. So we have an example here that we are going to use to complete it, and we are going to work on Q4, which is October, November, December. So when let me see if I will be able to just have it like that for now. So when we come to your Form 941, you'll put your business identification number in it. You'll put your business name, the legal name that you use on your EIN form, application form. And if you have a trade name, a DBA, you'll put that as well. You'll put your business address, city, state, and zip code. And then, before we do that, the identification number and the legal business name, you'll put those on page 2 as well. Then we can go back. So you are going to choose the quarter you are filing for. One form, one quarter. If you didn't file for the previous quarters because maybe you didn't have the wages, you cannot select all the quarters on one form. One form, one quarter. So therefore, this form is for quarter 4. If that is your first time completing it for your business, it is for quarter 4. So therefore, we are going to check, quarter 4, which is October, November, December months. So wages you pay within those 3 months are those numbers you are going to put on it, not the cumulative for the whole year, but for the 3 months payroll information is what is asked from you to put on this form. So line 1, number of employees that you pay during those 3 quarters, you report it. And in this example, we put 2 people. Wages that you pay them. So we have this number here, but again, it came from this spreadsheet. We have been using some numbers for the entire year, and for Q4 is $12,000 for the total wages paid. So therefore, that $12,000 is here. So federal income tax withheld. Again, you'll go to your spreadsheet and you'll find the total federal income tax withheld on those people's, the total of it, because again, the federal income tax withheld is from the employee's salary. The employer does not contribute. So 762 we have 762. So if no wages was subject to Social Security and Medicare, you check that box and go to part 6. In this case, we have taxable Social Security wages. Therefore, this 12,000 we are going to assume is the same that is subject to Social Security and Medicare. For that reason, 5A we put it there, and 5C for Medicare wages we put it there. There is no tips, therefore there is no tip that we put down here. So you will take this number times 0.124, which is employee and employer. This form is asking you for the combined payroll tax, employee portion and employer portion. So therefore it's having that total here for you. So 0.124 times 12,000 is giving you 1488. Again, this form, when you are filing it, is recommended you put your decimals. So since our decimal here is 00, we put it regardless. So for the Medicare, again, employee and employer portion. So therefore, you turn both, is giving us 348 here. We do not have additional Medicare tax, Medicare tax here, and additional Medicare tax only comes from the employee salary when it reach a certain maximum. Again, the instruction will they have information on it in the instruction. So but that threshold is for the whole year. So as you are tracking employees payroll throughout the year, when it reach 176,100, you are going to stop withholding Social Security tax on it for salary. Going above that, you are going to stop withholding Social Security tax on it. Your business is now going to pay Social Security tax on the wages above this threshold. This threshold is for the year. Once you reach that, no more Social Security tax on it. Medicare tax does not have limits. It has a limit that when you reach that, you will be collecting more of it. And the limits, I'm not sure why they didn't just put it up here for us to see, but is 200,000 something. So let's see if we'll be able to locate it somewhere. And that will be that. So when you stop collecting Social Security tax because it reached Social Security tax max and exceeded, you are going to continue withholding Medicare tax. When it reach 200,000, any wages you pay to that person in your business past that 200,000, you are going to withhold the regular Medicare tax. Your business is going to pay its portion of that regular Medicare tax, and then you are going to withhold an additional Medicare tax from that employee's wages. So if we go back to our tax form, and that is that additional that they are talking about here. So if you have multiple staff members that are collecting high salary, you need to track each one of them. You are going to do that anyway because you are going to file their W-2 later with Social Security Administration. So it's important you track everybody you are paying separately, but track it in a way that if you have high paying employees or staff members, you know when you need to stop paying you need to stop withholding Social Security tax, and you need to know when you need to start stop withholding Social Security tax from their income, and you need to know when you need to start withholding additional Medicare tax from their income based on those salary threshold that they they put it in the instruction. And again, it varies year to year. Therefore, it's good you pull the latest version of the instruction to see those limits to work with. If you don't have those high paying salary members in your business, there is nothing to worry about. Like in this example, for instance, you know, we are well below those thresholds. And when it comes to here, it's not just one person, it's all the people that you are collecting additional Medicaid tax from their income, is the total that you are going to put here. In terms that, and put it here. So, and it's going to be that wages that is subject to that additional tax, not the whole amount that falls below that threshold, but anything above that $200,000 per person that you are going to be putting here for the total quarter for all the people that you pay above that threshold to. If that makes sense, unless I'm confusing, I'm sorry about that. So I tend to confuse people when I'm getting too detailed. So, but that's that. So we are going to bring our spreadsheet. I don't know if it would be a good idea for me to do this like this, but let's see, so that we can just compare some numbers. So we have 762 for that quarter 4. We have Social Security 1488, and then we have Medicaid 348 here as well. So those numbers match. So you want to make sure your numbers are matching. So now 5E is asking you to total your Social Security and your Medicaid taxes, which are column 2. So you total 1488 and 348, again with your decimal numbers as well. And we have 1836. Line F, we are going to leave a blank because we don't have tips to talk about. But if you do, please read the instruction for that level, because the instruction explain step by step each level. If you are unsure about a line, you can locate it in the instruction and read about it to see if it pertains to your business. Line C, total tax before adjustment, is the total of federal income tax withheld from the employee, wages, Social Security employee and employer, Medicaid tax employee and employer. Total together is going to give you the example 2598 that we have here. Pretty much 1836 and 762 is here. If you have tips, you'll add it to it as well. Tax on tips there. So, and again, we are going to bring our spreadsheet. And we have 2588 and 1836 for those. Okay, so we continue. Line 7, current quarter adjustment for fraction and cents. So is due to, again, fraction and cents between what you withheld and what the calculations here told you to withhold. So the difference due to rounding, if there is some discrepancy, they want you to put it here. And then you have adjustment for sick pay. We are using a simplest form, just assuming your business is simple as possible with no benefits collected by the staff members. So therefore, line 8 and 9 here, we leave them blank. If it related to your business, please read the instructions to see how you are going to complete them. So total tax after adjustment is totaling line 6 789 and is 2598 in this example. Small qualified small business payroll tax credits. If you qualify for that credit, you use Form 8974 to complete it, and then it will go here. And I think it decrease is like a non-refundable type of credit that will decrease your payroll tax to 0 or something like that. But anyway, so here is blank for us. Line 12, total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credit. So it's taking line 10 minus that credit, and it's giving you line 12. So if that credit is 25.98, for instance, then line 12 will be 0. But since our credit is 0, then our line 12 is 25.98. So it's a non-refundable credit in that sense, that is decreasing your payroll tax dollar per dollar or dollar for dollar. So our payroll liability or our payroll tax is line 12, 25.98. In this example, line 13, total deposit for this quarter. That is the amount you deposited during this quarter for those taxes that you withheld, and your business needs to pay some portion of as well. This 25.98. How much of it did you deposit to IRS every month of those 3 quarters is what they are asking you here to put here. If you have some refund from prior quarter that you ask them not to send to you, you will add it as well. In this example, we are going to assume we paid what the payroll tax is. We deposited that full amount. Therefore, our line 13 is 25.98. Balance due. So balance due is going to take line 12 minus line 13. So if line 12 is the tax. If it's more than what you already deposited, you'll have a balance. You'll go on line 14. That is the amount you owe IRS. If your line 12 is less than your line 13, you have a refund. That is what IRS need to refund you. It will go on line 15. And then you can select if you want them to send it to you, which will be this box, or if you want them to keep it so that you can apply it to the next return. You will check one of those 2 boxes. In this instance where our line 13 is the exact amount as our line 12, the difference between the 2 is 0. So based on the instructions, there is some lines that you should not leave blank, and there are some lines that you should leave blank. So they didn't put any information here, but they have it in the instructions. So I'm going to go back to here and let's see. So you leave line another line blank if the dollar amount is 0, except line 1, 2, and 12. And again, show your whole number. So we'll go back. That's line 1. How many people did you pay? If you pay 0 people, that will be 0. Line 2, if you didn't pay anyone, it's going to be 0, 0, 0. And then line 12, how much tax is your payroll? How much is your payroll tax for this quarter? If that's 0, that will be 0, 0, 0. So those 3 lines, they want you to show those zeros if you do not have a dollar amount for them. Other than that, everything else that is 0, you can just leave it blank. So now we are going to go to part 2. Part 2, again, your business legal name, not DBA, legal name, your business identification number. Part 2. So if your line 12 is less than 2,500, you will check this box and then you will go to part 3. In this instance, we are $99 more than that because it has to be less than 2,500 and we are 2,598. So therefore we are going to check the second box, because again we are going to assume we are monthly schedule depositor, and that is something you have to choose at the beginning of the year. If you are semi-weekly schedule depositor or a monthly schedule depositor, and those let's see here, those needs to be determined based on your last 2 years or your last 4 quarters limit. So for 491, for instance, you have that 50,000 threshold that your last 4 quarters, if you know, let me go back here, 4 quarters, if your total liability for that line 12 where we have 2,598 is equal or less than $50,000, you are monthly depositor. If it's more than $50,000, you are semi-weekly depositor. If this year is your first year filing Form 941 for your business and you have now filed Form 944 before, like your business is brand new this year, so that just assume that your last 4 quarters is less than $50,000. So therefore, you are automatically a monthly deposit scheduled depositor. So based on that, you will have that's still the cutoff. You'll need to make those deposits on a certain basis, like by the 15th of the month. So those are for the semi-weekly schedule. Trying to see if I can find it for the monthly. So the 15th of every month of the following month, when you pay this month, the 15th of the following month, you need to deposit your payroll tax for the prior month. So with that in mind, so they pretty much wanted to see if you make those deposits on time. So therefore, they are asking you how much is your tax liability for every month. If you claim that non-refundable credits, you have to take that into consideration because they want the total to match your line 12. And line 12 is taking this credit into consideration. So bringing our spreadsheet back again, we are going to go to monthly report here. And then we have October, which is 866. We have November, and then we have December there. So the total will be 2598. If you are a semi-weekly scheduled depositor, you are going to use that form. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's open it as Schedule B. So pretty much this form allows you to put your business identification number, your business legal name, the calendar year you are paying for, that will be 2025, and the quarter you are paying for, which is going to be quarter 4 for this instance. And it just have like day 1 to day 30 or 31 for every month listed, so that you can list your tax liability. When they say tax liability, is like when you pay people, you already have a tax liability that day. So based on when you pay people, you put the tax liability, what you need to withhold from that wages that you pay, your the federal income tax withheld from the employee wages for that pay period, the employee social security and the employee Medicaid tax withheld, the employer Medicaid tax and the employer social security tax withheld. So you will have that for every day of the month. So the days that you didn't pay is just going to be blank, but then you'll have the total there for every month or so, and that total should match line 12. And those total are what, so you are going to put this attachment, you will complete it and you will attach it. So that means if you are semi-weekly depositor, you are going to be checking this box as well, and not this one. So you leave those two blank and check this one. But because our dollar amount is below that threshold, we are going to check monthly scheduled depositor. So, and then you will go to part 3. So part 3, if your business stop paying wages, you'll need to check that and put the date it stopped. and have an attachment related to where, with information on the address and the person's information that is holding the payroll record. Just if some IRS needs some information, who they should go to, type of information. But again, they have instruction on that as well. If you are seasonal employer and you do not have employee throughout the year, you can check that box, but read more about it as well. And that just means you are telling them that some quarters you may not file this form and some quarters you might file, but each time you file the form, if you are checking this box, you check it, but make sure you check the quarter you are filing for as well when you are completing this form. So in this instance, we are going to leave a blank. Part 4, IRS wanted to know if who you want them to contact if they have information. They want to ask questions. Here I just say no. So that means they can just come to you straight and ask you questions about it. If you want them to ask somebody else, then you have to put that person's name, phone number, and a PIN and check yes. Part 5, who should sign this form? You put your name, your title in the business, your phone number, and when you print the form out, you sign it, you date it, you make a copy for your business record. If you are a tax preparer, you are filing it for a client, then you complete this session with your name, your business name, your business address, your PTIN. If you are a self-employed, you check that. You'll have your business EIN and your phone number and zip code. When you print it out, you sign it, your client sign it, you date it, you make 2 copies, one for the client to keep for his or her record, business record, one for you to keep unless you want to go digital and save it online, and the original to mail to IRS. So in this instance that we assume you are making deposits, there is no need to file a voucher. If you are making a deposit because you are a monthly depositor and you are making deposits, if your line 13 is less than your line 12, you owe a tax on line 14, it's just better you go to IRS website just go to IRS website and log into your account and make your deposit. And just, and just go in and make your deposit of that amount that you owe, and just make sure you do that on time. So if you go that out, you do not complete this voucher, which is page 3, you do not even print it out. You just print out page 1 and page 2. If the amount is not allowed and you qualify paying it with this form, read the instruction to see in which instance that you can pay with this form. Again, sometimes it just falls under gray area. If you are making deposit, just go ahead and pay your payment online. That way you won't have to worry with the voucher. That is what I would recommend that you do. With that in mind, I'm not going to talk too much about the voucher, but unless you want me to, you look the dollar on line 14, you will put it there, or the amount you are going to pay, your business EIN, your business name, the business address, which quarter the payment is for, which is going to be quarter 4, and again you want to make sure you are allowed to pay with the form, and then you are going to write a check, and they have instructions here for how you put information on the check. But if you are a monthly depositor, you are supposed to make deposits on a monthly basis. It's just better you go online. If you are making that deposit on a monthly basis, you do that. That way you just stick to page 1 and page 2. So let's assume you didn't have any payment to add to this form. If you have an amount you are going to pay online, try to pay before you send this in. So you are going to pay online. So therefore you are going to mail this in using which address? It has to be an address without a payment. So we are going to continue to see if we can find that, and that will be here. So because you are now going to complete the voucher, there is no payment to add to the form. You are going to use the address from column 2 corresponding to your state in column 1. So you have to locate your state. In this instance, we locate Iowa here, and we are now going to complete the voucher because we are going to make deposit or made the deposit already. We are going to use without a payment. So that means there is no payment included in the envelope that we are mailing. Without a payment, we'll use the address corresponding to where our state is, and that is this address. If you are going to complete a voucher and add a check to the form, to the envelope, then you'll go with a payment column 3 address corresponding to where your state is located. So in this instance, that is going to be without a payment column. You look for your state and you use the address corresponding to that under without a payment. And that is how you complete Form 941 for 2025 quarter 4. And when you are done completing it and you write that address on the envelope, you mail it via USPS certified mail, so that you can have that green tag with tracking number that you can use, attach it with the receipt to the form copy that you are keeping for your business record, attach those together and put it and file it for your business. That way you have a proof that you mail it to IRS. And again, is quarter 4 is due by the end of January. So, and is for the quarter ending December 31st. This is how you'll fill out that form. If you are not sure how to withhold federal income tax from your staff members' wages, they have publication 15T that you might read more about. And I like you can choose the option that you like to go with, and I like to go with I believe option 2, and then you can just, that means you give W4 to your staff members for them to complete, and you are going to use that to determine, based on how often you pay them, where you should be looking, because they have weekly and they have bi-weekly. So based on how your frequency of payment is, you locate that and locate their W4, what they selected, and use that to find their wages tax bracket within that it fell within for that pay period, to see how much you need to withhold from their income. And thank you so much for watching our videos. If you are interested in this spreadsheet, although I just add this additional receipt today, but if you are, so that means you can just keep adding to the document if you want. But if you are you are looking for an example of payroll tax spreadsheets to use or to customize or to look at and redesign yours, will you please check our website, ninasop.com, our blog, and you can just scroll to free download session on the homepage, free download session, and you'll be able to find, some payroll spreadsheet there, and see which one you are interested in to use. There is a little difference in each one of them, but yeah, we have some free downloads there that you will be able to take a look at to see which one you are interested in. And I don't know, we can just click on this one and scroll to see. Yeah, I need to make some updates here because I changed the theme that I'm using. So some lines are kind of broken, but let's see if we can locate the form. Otherwise, I will have to go in and re-upload. I think the form should be somewhere here, the latest version. So that's that. So I think I will have to go and update the blog on the website, but that is where you are going to find it under the free download section. So thank you so much for your time. We thank you very much for all your comments, and thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi, Liberman, Growth of Liberman Consulting, L.L.C, YouTube channel, and ninasoap.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way. Swing trading, filing your own tax return, is one way to save money. And this is, an example of tax return you can file for your business if, you just start out and your tax is now too complicated. You can just simply file it for your business, and that just allows you to know the different type of document, how you should be tracking your numbers so that you can make tax filing season less stressful for you. Thank you.